Daniel Hutchins. I'm about to go take a shower. As you might hear the water in the bathroom, the sound right now. I'm gonna take a shower. And then yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck just happened. But anyway, I'm about to take a shower. I just got home from a walk. I grabbed my friends at church some cookies. I got a really nice card from my pastor and her hubby so that they can have a nice happy retirement. So I got them a retirement card, and I got myself a Dr. Pepper. I got myself two brand new books. Yes, two brand new books at Page One Books. It's a local bookstore that's up the street here in Albuquerque. Um, Also, I was doing a little bit of an old preparatory hymn that we used to do back in during the study we had in Lent. Yes, the study we had from in Lent. Old preparatory song we call "Grieve, Listen, and Notice." It's a preparatory hit. Um, Lots of churches now have recognized it as such. It is a preparatory song that prepares you with just grieve, listen, and notice. Hence the tag. Also, I was doing some Fantastic Four and some Power Rangers theme songs as I was walking back from my walk. So, what am I going to do? Well, you see, that's the thing. I'm going to hop on my laptop very quick before I hop in the shower, and I'm going to hop on our little friend Disney Plus. Yes, Disney Plus, our friend Disney Plus. And I'm going to see what's happening. Okay? Go on my profile, which I have my character as Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz, because he's German, and because I'm German, he's German. So it makes a lot of sense. Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Okay, I don't know about that. So what we're gonna do while we're in the shower, or when we're in the shower, is we're gonna finish up the last 28 minutes of the Wizards of Waverly Place movie from 2009. Yes. So when I'm in the shower, I'll have my computer playing and finishing up the last 28 minutes of the movie we know from the hit show Wizards of Waverly Place. Okay, Wizards of Waverly Place, with main star Selena Gomez. Okay, so Selena Gomez is again the character we know in her show, Alex. Yeah, she plays Alex in that show, Wizards of Waverly Place. So, anyway, I'm going to spend the next 20 minutes in the shower, try to finish that up, and I'll come back. Okay, everybody. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I had to put on some fresh underpants. Yes, I need to put on some fresh underpants. Yeah, I need to put on some fresh underpants. Underpants. Cha-la-la. As Captain Underpants does. Tra-la-la. I don't know what the hell that is. I guess this is neighbors just honking at each other. I don't know. It doesn't concern us. It don't concern us none. Nope. No sirree, Bob. It don't. Definitely don't. It definitely does not concern us. So if it don't concern us, it don't concern us. Like the old wives' tale is, when you do what you do, you just stick with what you do. You don't do whatever people do unless they tell you so otherwise. It's an old wives' tale, or an old tale my father used to say. You do what you do, and unless somebody wants you to do what they want you to do, then don't do it otherwise. Exactly! Like my old stepbrother Justin says. Exactly! So every time you get an answer right, me and old stepbrother Justin Sudriff were like, exactly! Okay, so what is the Wizards of Waverly Place movie really about? Well, the Wizards of Waverly Place movie is actually kind of more about when Alex and her family go on a tropical vacation. Okay? Yeah. That's like that with a lot of movies. You notice how the Very Odd Parents, they did something like that with their live action movie. And you know Disney Channel tends to have the theme where it's like, oh, we're going to have every young Disney teenager girl or teenage star have her own movie. But her movie is going to be about, you know, being on a tropical island. Who knows where the tropical island is? It's just a tropical island. It sends off as a theme as the middle 2000s did. It's like when mid-2000 came, or when we know the end of 2000 rolled around, it's like, oh, it kind of follows the same theme. It follows the same thread all the way through and through. And like I said, everything's okay as long as you rockin' with me. Now as long as you're rockin' with me. Because I try my best to make new content. As I try my best to make new content for you, my friends, for you. I deliver the content to you. I just finished up my shower. I got home from a walk. I had to grab some cookies for the church, a retirement card for my pastor, and got myself a Dr. Pepper I have downstairs. I'm actually working on a brand new book right now, actually. It's called, basically it's the Star Wars Survival Guide. It's the survival guide of Star Wars. How to survive out in the Star Wars galaxy. Right now, I'm on page 10 and 11 of the Star Wars Survival Guide. How to stay alive in the Star Wars galaxy. The first steps, okay? The first steps, okay? I'll read you a little bit of it, and if you like to hear more, I'll do more later. But okay. Staying alive in the Star Wars galaxy. The first steps. If you crash landed, you just have the most terrifying experience in your life. but at least you're alive. Surviving a crash landing is really rare. Even though you've been lucky, you're yet nowhere to be found. Do you know where you are? Determine your location by assess your situation and your surroundings around you. First things you need to do. How can you be rescued? And can you even find yourself? Well, in yourself, yes. Even once those are done, the journey is only just the beginning. Securing the crash site. What you need to do is if you crash your site right on the planet of Dagobah, you need to salvage anything usable from your aircraft. Beware of concealed hazards. You have to establish a base or a camp. Fire up a portable generator, and if you have an astromech or a droid, plug it in for them to recharge. Offload your nutrition ration packs and change your clothes frequently. For then turn on your transponder. Yeah, transponder. Interacting with a local. Step 1. Have your weapon handy just in case, and make your next move based on your local and their reaction to them. If they are scared, put it away. Then, if Step 2. Establish trust by inviting them to your camp. Offer them some of your food. Expect a reaction from them. Step 3. After you've shown your willingness to trust the local might likely trust you now. Ask them for information and directions on how to get home. Other ideas. Well, if you get hydrated, how to stay hydrated when you're in the desert of Tatooine. You'll need to seek out a drinkable water source as soon as you possibly can, especially if you crash landed on the desert planet like, again, Tatooine. Lack of it will kill you very fast, though if you see a water trough for a beast of burden, like a bantha, don't let dignity try to get you in the way of quenching your thirst. Assess the terrain. If you have some excursion by foot, you're unfortunate enough to have a probe droid, and the probe droid may be your best bet for scouting your area. Probe droids can be very interesting because, again, as we saw, they have large military claws, and they can fit in the palm of your hand on your back and sense from far beyond the spectrum to give you detailed read of where you're at. Assess your wildlife. It's likely that you'll encounter native animals, or creatures, should we say. Ask yourself these questions. 1. Does it have a fang or claws? 2. Is it making angry noises? 3. Is it following or smelling you? And 4. Or any other animals running away from them? If the answer is yes to all of the above or any of the above, it's time you run. Flight is preferable in a fight flight is more preferable than fight in this situation. New taste. Once your ration packs have been disappeared, you have no choice but to forage for food, like scavenge for food. Scan for any berries or fruits in the wild, and if you detect or suspect toxins, the general rule of thumb is bright colors mean you can't eat them. This applies for both plants and animals. And your other option, or your best option, will be to find a friendly local who can feed you. Beware. A local will know how the best way to cook an indigenous fruit or fauna. Potential food can be poisonous in a raw form if not perfectly prepared properly. And in turn, you can also let the locals try some of your protein crackers, or protein bars, or whatever you might have. Survival clothes. What do you wear in survival? What do you wear when you're in survival? Between the life and dead. Sometimes you need the dress to impress. But basically, if you're staying alive, you have to wear basically just what you have. All of the danger and the threat in the galaxy you'll face, dying of sun exposure or indecent exposure, doesn't have to happen to everyone, but it does happen to everyone. So you don't need to have a closet space full of handsome outfits to make sure you're covered. Mountain gear. So if you're in the mountains, you'll need boots, many layers to protect your torsos from the high winds, and insulation hat to retain your heat. Cold weather. Even the coldest of planets, like the planet Hoth, you have no protective clothing, so you'll have to have a lot of insulation that keep your body warm, and you have to have insulated heating pads within your clothes. Insulation sleeves vacuum seal your gloves and keep you out from draft. Quilt material, layer fabric retaining your heat. Shin guards, safety for your shins and legs and stuff. Strap on additional layers, keep pants tight, or keep your tights tight. Bantha wool fringe. Tantooine also has many bantha wool, which is used for heavy coats in cold desert nights. Gauntlets. These control the eternal electricity in your heat systems. Princess Leia and Han Solo, as we know, have these things. Rainwear. What do you wear in the rain? A non-absorbent rain slicker and fog-proof goggles. These clothes are for hydrophobic areas. Rain area or rain droplets or just roll off them. This means that the weight of your clothing does not increase or if water is absorbed, and your headgear maintains visibility is a must as well. Watch out. Now in the desert, what do you wear in the desert? Long flowing tail-long robes provide ventilation while protecting your body from harmful solar rays of the twin suns on Tatooine. Non-stick fibers prevent the adherence of sand, which otherwise would guide you anywhere. Camouflage. So if you want to not be sound. So in camouflage, you may want to blend into the forest we know of Forest Endor. So to avoid the attention of predators, pirates, or trigger-happy people, you can wear white on the snow planets and wear camouflage on the forest planets. In a glance, trooper adaptation. They have very armor and variants to accommodate to their environment, which the Empire requires. Stormtroopers. Mask filter out particle but not toxins. Armor though subpar compared to old clone trooper gear. Sword troopers. The sword troopers, as we know of the beach troopers, water-resistant boots, vacuum-sealed bodysuit underneath armor, and avoid sogginess to absorb, to refrain from absorbing water or rain or anything to, make your suit expand. Mud troopers. Mud on enclosed helmets would impede your visibility, so mud troopers have open helmet. A range trooper. Range troopers are designed to comfort your long distance walking and travel within the Empire, and magnetic boots for climbing. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more pages. And then if you want more, I'll read more later in a part 2. In a glance, dangerous environments. It's a galaxy of extreme and burning desert to icy wastelands and pristine mountains and featured jungles. Some planets have climates so extreme you just don't know what costume you have. No matter what, if you're going to go to a lava planet like Mustafar, or a desert planet such as Tatooine, or even a cold planet like Hoth, safety first. Again, I don't have to really go through all this because, I kind of gave you some examples. Deserts. Tatooine, Jakku, Jeddah, and Geonosis. Frozen wastelands. Examples: Hoth and later the Starkill base. Mountains: Vandor. Lava. Volcano planets: Mustafar and Solist. Strong with the Force you are. Strong with the Force you are. Jedi texts have survived yet the Emperor's purge. From the Jedi Temple he's purged. Certain places are particularly strong in the Force, though those places are function as nexus points, where the cosmic force of the Force cosmic or power cosmic bubbles up in strange things that might be unexpected. Not even a lightsaber can help you there, so be prepared for whatever happens. Places such as Dagobah, Lothal, Malachor, and Ahch-To. Forest planets, Endor and Kashyyyk. and other forest planets, Felucia and Nork. Okay, more environments. Cities and urban worlds, or urban worlds. Sorry, I said urban words. I said urban worlds. City planets. Coruscant, again, Jedi capital. Corellia, again, pretty self-explanatory. That's where Han Solo was from. Um, Ring of Catherine. That's another colony with very, very dirty streets and dirty alleys. Jeddah. Um, Now we go on to more places. Industrial wastelands. The Kessel, Parnassos, swamplands, we already said. Dagobah and Nalhata. Lagoons, we know the beach on the battle we know planet Scarif. The gas giants, we know Bespin, Yavin, Endor. Oceans, these tend to be the places that flood the most. Camino, Octu, and Mount Cala. Mineral planets. Crate, Christophus Silos. Okay, these are dangerous environments. Finding or making yourself a shelter. Clothing alone can almost never always protect you from elements. You'll need a roof over your head. If you're stranded on a planet and you don't know when you get home, you have to have a plan. You have to always have a plan. And plan of emergency, if you're stuck in the cold and and it's very severe, you have to kill your tauntaun. And again, that's how you stayed warm. Do or do not, as Master Yoda says. Do. Use care when wielding or cutting a lightsaber through a tauntaun, since it has a very thick hide. And avoid trying to pierce their intestines. That means their guts. Do not keep the internal body cavity exposed to the element long. You don't want your heat to escape. Do. Make sure you set a stabilized transmitter outside of your rescue so you can be found. Do not be so offended by the smell of a tauntaun and its organs and body parts. And if you refuse to get in, you'll get used to it. And it sure does beat freezing to death. In a glance of the old ruins of Star Wars. The taken shelter in an old ruin of the Star Wars universe. Octu. Octu is one of the early Jedi Order places where many stone dwellings of small places where air can move in. Most will be waterproof, but be careful if you don't accidentally set off your blasters. These ancient stones could dislodge very easily. Luckily, some female lanes, called the caretakers, can perform quick, fastidious maintenance. Then there's Jeddah. Catacombs of Kadera offer protection of the wind and the cold. It's a desert moon, so it's dry and warm, but also repetitively has been haunted by ancient spirits and ghosts. Yavin 4. This is a great temple of a gargantuan stone ziggurat built by long extinct Massassani people. Has halls, caverns enough for rebel alliance to use as hideouts, hangars, and backup spaces. It once was also used as a main alliance HQ to the rebellion back during the battle of, but it was destroyed the last time from the first Death Star. Rumors persist the ancient Sith presence still lies there to this day. Finding or making shelter. This is continued. In a glance, cold environments. If you're on the planet Hoth, escape the frigid winds in an ice cave. Some of those are big enough for an entire base, so just be careful not to share it with the Wampas. Vandor. Structures built of stones or hardy, yet insulates wood should keep you warm. Ideally for finding a fireplace or warming up your team and having liberation. In the desert. On the desert of Jakku, old battlefields can be sheltered as well, for it is one of the most barren planets of all the universe. Take refuge in a wreckage of a fallen AT-AT or AT-AT and crashed Star Destroyers. Tatooine. Consider copying the local moisture farmer by trying to find some shelters underground. These tunnels are naturally cool and shield you from the cold wind at night because it gets really cold in the wind out here in the desert. Trust me, I live in the desert. I'm in Albuquerque, so you should know that. Forest and jungles. How to survive in the forest and jungle. On Yoda's planet, Dagobah, you keep the beast away while it's your top priority. Use your materials very sparingly, particularly mud, to build your hut inside in a cool and dry place, and make sure it's large enough to build a fire to keep yourself warm and to cook yourself food and maybe take yourself a hot bath. Forest Moons of Endor. After convincing said otherwise, the Ewoks not to eat you, take up residence in one of their treehouse village. Being high off the ground avoids the beast on the Razak beast, Condor dragons, and also the wicked Duloks. Also, there's Kishik. Kishik, the Wookiee planet, as we saw from when Yoda went on planet Kishik to find Chewbacca. Remember in episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith of 2005. The planet Kishik, the Wookiee planet. Massive city size, in village of the trees, just like we said before. Settlements in the branches and hollowed out trunks. They'll also provide protection from local plants, including fearsome creatures. Urban environments. How do you survive in an urban environment? Well, on Han Solo's planet, or should we say Han Solo's place, Corellia. If you need to find a place on Han Solo's place, Corellia, you need to have some credits. The hotels are functional, but are far from luxurious. But if you're on the run, if you're on the run from gangsters, hide out in an extensive sewer. Try to trade with white worms for supply. And if you're very desperate, get yourself a tame Corellian hound to hunt the prey for you. Okay? Essential equipment for survival. Okay. Even if you have the power to force, you won't survive for long. Equipment's very important. Atmosphere protection. Not all atmospheres are the same. Some have dust, some have sand, some have other particular matter that can be deadly gases and pollutions to you. So be careful and make sure you wear atmospheric protection. Have a very closed helmet. It provides the best attention against lethal atmospheres that limits your visibility. Vacuum seals. Make sure your clothes have vacuum seals. Having no breach are the only way to ensure no contaminations. Filter mask. Less cumbersome but fully sealed helmets can also fill in and filter in air from the filter mask. Mask that you can wear underwater. If you're in the water, it's nice to have a mask when you're underwater, especially on places like Naboo, because remember when Jar Jar Binks and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, they were trying to swim underwater. It's important to have a apparatus to help you underwater. How to find your way across a broken walkway. This is what happened a lot of the times from the escape, as we know, the escape of the Death Star. Ideally, if you don't blast a control to the walkway, you can't extend it. So therefore, what you have to do is find an open access from that other side. Use a grappling hook or from your utility belt, as you saw on my next page I'm about to tell you, which you'll find yourself a solid structure above you, such as a beam, the cross. And if the aim is too hard to wrap, then you use it as a pivot point. Now, you don't have to be no fucking ballerina to go across the frickin' Death Star, but again, grappling hook is really important. Grappling hooks over beams are being very sensitive. You got to be real careful not to trip anything. Even if you trip something, it will probably set something off like an alarm or army of stormtroopers chasing after you. So just be careful. What do you pack in a survival kit? Electro binoculars. They have electric magnification from far away places that lenses cannot see by themselves. A backpack. You always need a backpack. Well, all survivor bags have to have a backpack. Grappling hook, just like we said on our way how to get across the Death Star when you can't get across. Tools. Basic tools to fix your starfighter or fix your astromechs. Um, Jetpack. Again, if you're a bounty hunter or you're on the Mandalorian, then you have a jetpack. A comlink. This is a portable audio communication device, sort of like a watch, and it helps you try to have conversations with your group through via intercom. A water bottle or a canteen. Really important to hydrate, like I said before when we were talking about Tatooine and Jakku. Always good to have water. Utility belt, one of the most important things. And no, Batman does not only have a utility belt, other heroes have utility belts as well. Don't make that mistake. Batman's not the only hero that wears utility belt. Luke Skywalker has utility belt. Indiana Jones, he has utility belt. So don't make that assumption that Batman is the only one with utility belt, because that's not true. Eye protection, goggles, also can shield you from blaster fire or inflamed toxic gas or dust that blows in your eye. Food. So this is important. So this is probably my favorite part. What can you eat for food? Local food. There's something that's called corn meat. There's something called a patty frog. It's kind of like a frog, but it's like on a stick. Dagobah mushroom spores. They're only native to Dagobah. Of course, if you're on Yoda's planet, you'd have those. Melaleumin fruits. Again, kind of resembles a mango. Dress pod. Again, it's supposed to kind of look like a acorn squash. Slug beetles. You know how, like I told you before, like on Lion King, like when Simba was on his own and he was trying to live, the whole Hakuna Matata thing, he had to eat a lot of slug beetles. So don't be afraid to eat a slug or a beetle. Just saying. And if that's the only food or any source of protein you have, don't be a chicken. Eat a slug beetle. That's what I said. Don't be a chicken. Eat a slug beetle. Simba did it on Lion King, and so can you. Baked cusnips and frails. I don't know anything about those, but that's kind of also good too. You could also eat an eel. Okay, yeah, you can eat eels. I know people think eels are nasty because, again, they're supposed to be poisonous, and some people say, oh, eels are poisonous. Oh, they're going to hurt. No, they're not. They're actually very crunchy. Very crunchy. If you're cooking from home, no offense, but you're not going to have the most fanciest food. No offense, you're not going to have any fancy food if you're cooking from home. In the Star Wars universe, you're not, because they don't have grocery stores, and if they do, then they're just little, what they call bodegas, or, bazaars, or markets, or, you know what I said. Dining out do's and do nots. Again, from Master Yoda. Do. Tip your waiters at the cafe, unless they happen to be droids, ensuring them that you ensure better future service moving forward. Do not assume that all establishments are eager to welcome your droid. Some restaurants do not allow droids. Many beings still suffer droid-related post-traumatic stress from the Clone Wars. Okay? Survivor rations, or as we call them here in the U.S., we call them MREs, or meals ready to eat. Master Eric also likes to eat lots of them in apocalyptic or end-of-the-world situations. Or like when the power goes out, or if you don't have an oven. It's good to have meals ready to eat. Okay, vegetable meat squares and portion breads. Meats, vegetables, and bread. It's important to have in survival rations, or your MRE, your meal ready to eat. Protein and vitamin-rich powders can also ensure you have all the nutrition and strength You need to go on with your day. The Imperial Academy and the Navy also insist their officers and their people to consume liquid meals. Yeah, because that's what they do, my friend. Beware, if you have enemies, we sometimes let down our guard, and sometimes they could poison you. So be careful and make sure you always keep an antidote around or have a doctor that gave you an antidote. So in case you eat something that's poisonous and you get sick, you have something to cure yourself with at a very expedient time. Because time is always of essence here in the universe. Eating establishments. Okay, here are some of the eating establishments we know in the galaxy. Dexter's Diner, No Frills, Stainless Steel's Eatery, and Undiscerned Coruscant. Again, this is in Coruscant because, again, the Lego Star Wars, the first video game from PlayStation 2, their base of operation, Dexter's Diner. The First Light. Now, the First Light is Dryden Vo's starship. It offers luxury for some prices. Now, if you want to stay a couple nights, then you'd have to pay some credits, galactic credits, credits of the Empire. And you have to dress up. Whatever you do, do not offend your host, because they have the right to refuse service. Maz's Castle. If you want to lay low, you want to refuel, exchange information, come at your own risk, and be careful. You can't trust everybody. Just like Han Solo said on the Maz Eisley scene. You can't trust everybody. You can't trust everybody. Porgs. Porgs are basically plump birds, as we saw episode, the end of episode 7, and more specifically in episode 8, The Last Jedi. Porgs are just plump birds that are very high in protein. They're very fat, they're very satisfying, and they make a very good energy meal because they're basically like, should we say, the Star Wars equivalent of a chicken or a penguin. They're kind of like a chicken or a penguin. Porg is like a chicken or a penguin. Okay? If you roast a porg, again, ignore the plaintive looks of spread. You can spare some porgs nearby, but don't eat all the porgs unless, you're very carnivorous, and then you don't want to wipe out the whole pork population. Let's be fair. You got to leave some of them. And if you're really, really hungry and your name is Chewbacca, yeah, then you have to eat it real carefully. Don't eat too many of them, or else you get a bellyache. Warzone survival. Again, even if you're not a soldier, it's important to know how to survive. Types of war zones. Deserts, forests, urban, space, and other. Deserts 12%, forest 7%, city 23%, space 26%, and other war zones 32%. No part of the galaxy has spared and ravaged in combat, so you better prepare yourself in case some shit falls down. Ground vehicles. Galactic battles have never also always been run on foot, so you gotta have a ground vehicle. Basically, you want to pack a really nice punch. Avoid using them unless you're, in the army or something. No heroics. It can be joined and be tempting to join some idealistic crusade where you think you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to be just like my father was, or I'll be just like my grandfather was back when he was serving this war, or this war, or this war. No heroics. You don't need to do that. Usually you end up dying, and you don't want that. Space combat. Again, that's where you have the rebels, the Red Squadron or the Rogue Squadron. They're basically the space combat. So in space combat, there's a very high likelihood you will die. So don't attempt your skill in being a pilot unless you go to flight academy, like Han Solo did, or like Luke Skywalker did. Don't fly a spaceship or a starfighter unless you have training first. That's a must. Taking cover and hiding when you don't want to get shot. You don't need to be a Jedi to realize there are alternatives to charging into the battlefield. So don't try to go all like gung ho and like say, no, you don't need to. Because on the battlefield, it's better if you stay hidden. It's better if you stay hidden. Not to be squashed underfoot by a droid, a walker, or whatever. So you can even take a really very heavy blaster bolt if you're not careful. War Zones, Do and Do Nots by Master Yoda. Do. You can embrace tricks, whether that means stealing an enemy ship or dunning their armor or trying to just steal their clothes or whatever to get past patrol. If a Force user is with you, have them do Jedi mind tricks. Do nots. Do not assume you're invulnerable, even if you somehow find yourself in the command of an AT-AT or an AT-AT. Annoying airspeeders can also trip you up and walk you over with their tow cable. Do be aware of your surroundings. Nature can also provide solution to your answer. You're also looking for a way out of your hiding place. Follow the animals and the critters that are making their exits. Do not underestimate the fighting skill of the furry, Ursaring tribespeople, even if they live in trees or still use bows and arrows. Also, breath mask. Breath mask basically gives you warm and breathability if you're if you're fighting on the Empire. An E11 blaster. An E11 blaster powers about 200 shots per second. So be aware of your enemy's weaknesses because a stormtrooper can use frequent inadequacy in training, which means they rarely can shoot accuracy. So just be careful not to make yourself a moving target or get hit by them. Heavy weapons. Tripod guns, Gatling guns, semi-automatics, machine guns, it's anything, or anything like heavy weapons and artillery. If your enemy sets up a heavy blaster cannon or high artillery gun on a tripod, there's no way you can outgun it or outrun it. Just try to aim for the trooper behind them, but do not hit the cannon. The joy of the occupation of a stormtrooper. Glorious pacified worlds. Beyond the Empire reach of the span of the galaxy, you can go to the core worlds of the Outer Rim. But just be careful you don't go too far out in the Outer Rim, because you don't know what's going to happen, because again, that's the unknown region. And if you don't know the unknown region, don't test it, don't go to the unknown region. The planet Naboo, occupied by the Trade Federation. It's been liberated later by Chancellor Palpatine, Sheev Palpatine, also Emperor Palpatine, and Naboo is a paradise where it's home to noble underwater warriors, the Gungans, who also loved and support the Emperor. Hence, we also know Jar Jar Binks was there. Jeddah. Jeddah is unfortunately in a loyal imperious world, devastated by terrible mine disasters, because a lot of people in Jeddah do mining. They do rock mining. Remnants are off limits and used for your own safety. Tatooine, local gangster crime boss, Big Boss Jabba the Hutt. He officially controls this world, but stormtroopers will patrol on dewbacks, which are like those big green giant lizards. So just be careful. Corellia, as we know from Han Solo, one of the Empire's most productive shipyards. Corellia is also very fantastic vacations for warm seas and happy populace. Lawful, as we saw from the series Star Wars Rebels. This empire has nationalized Lawful's unproductive mine by enriching their local populations and building a glorious TIE Defender factory. Imperial propagandas. No Imperial trooper search for subversive material is likely to read the propaganda, so read it on your own risk, and free write so. Avoid the occupied worlds on opposite pages, or opposite ends of the worlds. So then, more specifically, areas where Imperial propaganda posters are present. Military recruitment center is always nearby. Watch out. Occupation forces of stormtroopers, even if they don't know you. Again, it doesn't mean the Empire's not listening. Their probe droids are everywhere, so just be careful. They also have snipers on every hidden corner and back alley, so just be cool and don't try to do anything stupid. Um, Getting arrested, do or do nots, by Master Yoda. Do. Do be honest when they question you. Any hint of a lie will result you in meeting an interrogator droid or worse, the Empire. Um, do not insult stormtroopers, especially if they're fallen on a shorter side of the Imperial Academy's height requirements. Chances are you'll also get arrested and go to the Empire. Do. Give your full cooperation. Your resistance will only mean serious trouble for you and your friends and your family. Remember what happened to the tragedy of Alteron. Do not allow your Wookiees or companions the throttle of the nearest trooper. Though it might be satisfying, you'll end up getting arrested and probably be stunned. And then again, arrested and then subjected to be interrogated by the Empire. So just be careful. Just be careful. Just be careful. And we're on our next part where we do next time. For next time on this book, the next time we read this book will be The Dangers of Travel. The next part we're going to read in this book for next time is The Dangers of Travel. So again, that's next time. For next time, remember kids, remember guys, remember ladies and germs, remember, this is the survival guide of the galaxy right here. This yellow guide is the survival guide of the galaxy. It is really important to know how to survive in the galaxy. And so I was like, for $8, it's not bad. So I got myself a Star Wars Galaxy Survivor Guide. I used to have a boy survivor guide I used to get at the local book fair. But again, I don't have that no more. So now I got the next best thing that's actually quite honestly better. The Star Wars Galactic Survivor Guide. That yellow book that I have right here. So again, until next time, the next area we'll do in this book will be maybe in a couple days. I don't know yet. But let me know what your thought is, and if you want me to read more of that, then let me know and down in the comments, or I'll maybe do a poll on my channel or something. And if you guys want me to do more, I'll gladly do more. I'll gladly like to entertain y'all some more of how to survive in the Star Wars universe. So, like I said, I finished the first part. So then the second part's going to be traveling. The dangers of travel. Okay. So, let me see. So my phone is only 60%, and again, it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in Albuquerque. So I don't know. I'm gonna go downstairs. I don't know yet. I'm just trying to buy my brother some more time so he can finish up work. And hell, I don't even fucking know what tonight's plan's gonna be. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you guys want me to read more Star Wars and how to survive the Star Wars galaxy, just let me know. And I'll see you later.